Shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekah Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Shalom, and a salute to the hopeful elect. This is Ashan coming at you with another video. And I came across this information, and I wanted to do this video for a while back, but through the Spirit, I finally came across on doing this video on this guy named George Speck. And I believe he changed his name to George Crumb. And he invented the potato chip. And when you think of things like that, like potato chips, Utz, down on the East Coast in Baltimore, we have it's like companies, ran by Esau. And we all know Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. So we know so-called black man ain't going to get credit for what he invented. But this is just another example of how the Lord bringing everything to light. Because I didn't know that it was a so-called black man that invented potato chips. I did the research on it about a year to 6 months ago. And and what inspired me to do the video as well is I'm gonna go to the brother's page. Just a sec. This brother, this is his video right here. Rawala Yasharala Yahweh Shai is coming. And that's the name of his video. And I came across his community, right? And it said, did you know African-American confectioner Augustus Jackson is the father of ice cream? So we have another example of Jake creating something, but we never learned this in school, So all these prophecies, it's all about prophecy right now. But me putting all this together is showing you that we're the Israelites, because it's pointing right to us, All you got to do is put the pieces to the puzzle, all right? Because the scriptures tell you how to read it. You hear, not to go off on another subject, but you hear a lot of people talking about, I read the Bible front to back, but the Bible clearly tells you how to read it, precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, you never read a textbook from front to back. Some ones you can, but for the most part, a textbook, you got to go to certain parts and link other parts up with it. That's a puzzle. That's what a textbook is. All right. So, we got another example of Jake. Now let's go back to the other screen. Okay, this is a little article they have on George Crumb. It says the potato chip was invented by a black man named George Crumb. And I'm just read a little bit of the story, and then I'm gonna go to the scriptures. It says there are 3 stories about the invention of the potato chip, but the most reliable ones all centered around George Crumb, a famous black chef in the 19th century who served the wealthiest Americans and eventually opened his own wildly successful restaurant. It says humble beginnings. It says born George Speck around the year 1824 to a Native American mother. So that's a Gadite. His mother was a Gadite, right? It says, and an African American father. And most likely his father was a Judite. But a lot of times, a lot of our tribes look like other tribes. So his father most likely could have been a Judite. And his mother could have been his father could have been a Gadite, But reading on, it says his father, hold on. Yeah. Okay. Oh, Salaki. Okay. It says, reading on, it says, so He worked as a hunter and a guide in upper New York State. During this time, his reputation as a cook earned him a position at Moon's Lake House restaurant on Saratoga Lake, where wealthy New England patrons built their summer camps. He became famous for his unique specialities with venison and wild game, and he was encouraged to continue experimenting in the kitchen. I'm gonna just read this part right here. It says, no one is certain about exactly how the potato chip was invented. Some claim it was Crumb's sister working at the same restaurant. Either way, Crumb's experimentation led to the refinement and popularization of chips, which became a local and eventually a regional draw from all New England. So everybody eat chips. Some, I don't know if some brothers might not, but most likely that's the chips is like a stamp in the American and Babylon system, and we all know and that's in the know, or rather in the truth, that we know that this is Babylon the Great, and just like Jake made Egypt good, starting with Joseph, Jake made Babylon, which is the new Egypt, America the Great, or America, the United States, good. So let's go to the scriptures. Okay, the first scripture that I'm going to start with is Jeremiah chapter 51 and verse 19. And it says, the portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord of hosts is his name. So everything came from us anyway. You know how we was taught in school that we were nobodies. We were just in Africa swinging from trees. No. And they taught that real heavily from the start of this school, public school system, all the way up until like the late 80s or whatever. They changed it around in the 90s, So, hey, who knows? In some schools, they probably still was teaching that bull crap, But yeah, we the former all things. The Lord is coming back to save Israel, Israelites, the 12 tribes, and it's an elect within elect, It's an elect within the elect. The elect within the elect are the 144,000 within each tribe, So we are those people. We are those special people. Deuteronomy chapter 7 and 6, right? I can start at 6. It says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy power have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself. So the reason why we invented all this stuff and it didn't get credit is because Esau was ruling, and it was our time to get punished, right? So, but that's why Jake ain't no dummy, But if you take all the resources from him, any nation can suffer. Any nation will suffer, just like how Esau is going to suffer in the kingdom of heaven. He's going to get stripped bare. He's going to get stripped bare. So if you take a baby and don't teach him anything and only teach him what you want him to teach him, he's going to look dumb. So that's Jake and Jake for the most part, If you take all the resources from and starve a person, they're going to be hungry. This is Romans chapter 9 and verse, I'll start at 13. It says, well, you know what? I'm going to start at 11. It reads, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, and this proved reincarnation as well, that the purpose of Yahweh, according to election, might stand, not of works, but of him that called it. So this is all the Lord's work, This is all the Lord's work. All praise to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. He made me an Israelite, because I bet you back in the 40s, hey, it was good to be an Edomite, That's how those Edomites was feeling themselves, because they had the world in their hands, in the palm of their hands. Reading on verse 12, it says, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. And who's the elder? Who came out first? Esau. Jacob came out last. That's why Jacob held on to that leg. His foot, he grabbed the ankle, held right onto that foot, said, come here, damn devil. But we serving Esau right now. Why? Because we broke the contract. When you, in your spare time, if you didn't, read Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, verse 1 through 15 and 15 through 68. It tells you. So verse 12 says, it was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. Listen up. Verse 13, it says, and it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. You can't get no more clear than that. This is 2 Chronicles chapter 6. And I'm going to start at 6. So 2 Chronicles 6 and 6, it says, but I have chosen Jerusalem, that my name might be there, and have chosen David to be over my people. So David is the elect. David is our king, and he's coming back. You know, he will be in the kingdom. King David, you know. Yeah. So this is Isaiah 44, and I'm going to start at 1. It says, yet now hear, O Jacob, my servant, and Israel, who I have chosen. So the Lord chose us, you know. Verse 2, I can read verse 2. It says, thus saith the Lord that made thee and formed thee from the womb, which will help thee. Fear not, O Jacob, my servant, and thou, Jesurun, whom I have chosen. And I believe Jesurun is a word for Jerusalem. Let's look it up. I can look it. Let's make sure. Just to make sure, you know. Jesurun. Yeshurun. Yeah. Upright one. A symbolic name for Israel. So yeah. Code name for Israel, or Jacob, or Jerusalem. Yeah. So I hope this was edifying to the body. Hey, you blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the true biblical Israelites. We're going to be saved. We got a lot of, Jakes that invented things, you know. We the form of all things, you know. But I didn't know until recently that a so-called black man, which is an Israelite, Jake, invented potato chips. And as before we get up out of this place, this Babylon the Great, before the Lord come back and destroy this place, he's going to reveal a lot that we didn't know. A lot is going to come out. You're going to be surprised how the influence that Jake had on this place, and how this place wouldn't be where it's at without Jake, because they want to make Israelites look like they're nothing. How you going to live off of people, but then trying to get rid of them? You ain't going to survive without us, you know. But I hope this lesson was edifying. Till again, Shalom.